Hey everybody, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Always fun to be back.
Today we're diving into hotel pricing strategies
Oh, interesting.
with a really interesting guy named Arun Kumar Raman,
Okay.
and he's a hotel sales automation specialist, but he's got over 25 years of experience in the hotel industry.
Wow.
And what's really cool about him is that he's really focused on helping Indian hotel owners specifically.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a huge market. I mean, there's so much potential there.
Oh, absolutely. And I think this is fascinating for all of us because whether we're travelers or, maybe we've even dreamt of running our own hotel someday.
Right. We all stay in hotels.
Exactly. We all stay in hotels.
Mm.
But how often do we actually stop and think about, like, what's the strategy behind those prices?
Yeah. Usually we're just looking for the best deal,
Exactly, right.
crossing our fingers.
Yeah, and hoping we don't get ripped off.
Exactly.
But Raman, I mean, he really pulls back the curtain
Right.
and shows how pricing can make or break a hotel.
And I think with his experience, he's really got some insight there.
Oh, yeah.
25 years in the industry.
Exactly. He's not just talking theory. He's actually, he's done the coaching. He does consulting.
Right.
He's got these hotel growth formula courses
Mm.
and then this really cool community called the Hotel Growth Mastermind.
An instrument.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting.
Very cool.
So yeah, I mean, get ready for some insider knowledge here, I think.
For sure.
And one thing that really stood out to me when I was, kind of reading up on Raman is that he really emphasizes this idea of providing amazing guest experiences.
Mm.
And he really sees pricing as a key part of that.
Okay, that's interesting. So it's not just about the numbers. It's really about the whole experience.
Exactly. And so I think that's what we're going to kind of try to unpack a little bit here today.
Okay, I'm excited.
So let's dive in.
Let's do it.
So one of the things that Raman points out in his article is that a lot of hotel owners, they make some pretty basic pricing mistakes.
Oh, really? Like
Yeah.
like sometimes they'll just copy their competitors.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Or they just kind of randomly guess what guests are willing to pay.
Which doesn't seem like a very good strategy.
Not at all.
Not very scientific.
But he argues that these kind of blunders can have some serious consequences,
Yeah, I would imagine so.
like empty rooms, a bad reputation,
Oh, yeah.
and of course the dreaded hit to revenue.
The bottom line, yeah, no one wants that.
Ouch, right.
It hurts.
So I'm curious, have you ever, you traveled a lot, have you ever booked a hotel and just felt like the price was totally off?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like either way too expensive.
Yeah, or suspiciously low.
Or suspiciously low.
You're like, is this a scam?
Exactly.
What's going on here?
Yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah, I stayed at this beach resort one time, and they charged an absolute premium,
Oh,
but the service was just terrible.
okay.
And the rooms were just so outdated, it felt like they hadn't been renovated in like decades.
Oh, no.
So I really felt like I had been ripped off,
Yeah, that's the worst feeling.
paying all that money and not getting the experience you were hoping for.
Yeah, and that disconnect between price and value. I think that's exactly what Raman wants hotel owners to avoid.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
And to illustrate this, he shares this case study about a resort in Pondicherry, India.
Oh, interesting.
And so initially they were charging just 2,000 rupees per night.
Okay.
And, they figured, hey, low prices, that equals full occupancy.
Yeah, volume, right.
Exactly.
You would think.
But the problem was they weren't even making enough money to cover their costs.
Oh, wow.
So they're like, okay, we got to try something different.
Yeah, time for a change.
So they switched to what's called dynamic pricing.
Okay, I've heard of that.
And they raised their rates to 3,000 rupees on weekdays
Okay.
and a whopping 5,000 rupees on weekends and holidays.
Wow. So quite a jump there,
Yeah, it's a pretty significant jump.
especially for the weekends.
Yeah, so before anyone freaks out, about those higher prices,
Yeah.
we should clarify that dynamic pricing isn't just about raising prices for the sake of it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's really about strategically aligning your prices with demand.
Okay, that
Right.
makes more sense.
Yeah. So tell me more about how that works.
Sure.
Like what factors go into determining, when to adjust prices and by how much?
Well, you've got to consider things like seasonality, for example.
Right.
If it's peak season or if there's a big festival in town, demand is naturally going to go up.
Right. So hotels can adjust their prices accordingly.
Exactly.
Okay.
You've also got to think about the day of the week.
Oh, interesting.
Weekends tend to be busier, so you might charge a bit more then.
Okay.
And then, of course, you've got to keep an eye on your competitors' pricing.
Right. You don't want to be way out of line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to be competitive, but you also want to make sure you're not undervaluing yourself.
So it's like you're finding that sweet spot
Exactly.
where you're competitive,
Yeah.
but you're also, reflecting the value that you offer.
Right. And the results for the Pondicherry Resort were really impressive, actually.
Oh, tell me about it.
They actually doubled their revenue in just 3 months.
Wow.
And they didn't lose any guests.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So they really found that sweet spot where the guests felt like they were getting value for their money,
Yeah,
but the resort was also making a profit.
exactly. A win-win.
So it seems like this dynamic pricing it can be a really powerful tool.
It definitely can be.
But is it risky?
Well, there are definitely potential downsides if it's not implemented thoughtfully.
Okay.
You don't want to alienate your loyal customers
Right.
or get a reputation for being too expensive.
Okay, I see your point. So it's all about finding that balance.
Yeah, it's a delicate dance.
Right.
But Raman has a suggestion.
Okay, what's that?
He suggests that hotel owners consider offering value-added packages instead of just constantly discounting.
Interesting. So tell me more about that.
Well, this is where understanding consumer psychology comes in. Often, a free breakfast or a spa voucher feels more enticing than a slightly lower room rate.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Even
Yeah.
if it might work out to be the same price in the end.
Right. It's all about framing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about how you present the offer.
Yeah, it's not just about the price tag. It's about the overall perceived worth
It's like a
of the experience.
right. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know I've been swayed by a free breakfast before.
Oh, me too. Absolutely.
Even if it might have worked out to be the same price as a discount.
It just feels like you're getting more.
Yeah, it feels like a bonus.
Exactly.
Okay, but let's play devil's advocate for a moment.
All right, let's do it.
What about the fear that guests will simply balk at higher prices, no matter how much value you offer?
That's a valid concern.
Right.
And it's something that Raman addresses directly in his work.
Okay, how does he address that?
Well, he argues that guests are actually happy to pay more if they feel like they're getting a genuinely valuable experience.
Okay.
Remember that resort in Pondicherry?
Yeah.
They doubled their prices and they didn't lose any guests.
That's true.
So it is possible.
But what makes that work?
Well, it all comes back to creating those exceptional experiences that justify the higher price tag.
Okay, I'm listening.
Think about a hotel stay that really stood out to you.
Okay. There's this boutique hotel I stayed at once up in the mountains,
Oh, nice.
and they had incredible service.
Okay.
A cozy fireplace in every room.
Oh, that sounds nice.
And they even offered complimentary wine and cheese in the evenings.
Wow. Okay, that's a nice touch.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
It was great.
See, those are the kinds of details that make guests feel like they're getting more than just a bed for the night.
Right.
It's about those extra touches that elevate the experience.
Exactly.
And that's where Raman's vision of providing amazing experiences to guests really shines through.
It's not just about crunching numbers and maximizing profit.
Right.
It's about creating a holistic experience
Yeah.
that leaves guests feeling happy and satisfied,
Absolutely.
even if it costs a bit more.
It's a win-win situation for both the hotel and the guest.
This is really giving me a whole new perspective on hotel pricing.
Yeah, me too.
It's not just about finding the cheapest option.
Right.
It's about understanding the value proposition and what you're willing to pay for.
Absolutely.
And I love that Raman, he doesn't just talk about these concepts in theory.
Right.
He actually provides, practical advice and support through his courses and his community.
Yeah, that's so important.
He's empowering hotel owners to take control of their pricing strategies
I like that.
and create truly thriving businesses.
Well, that's the goal, right?
Yeah,
To help people succeed.
absolutely.
That's what makes his work so impactful, I think.
I agree.
He's not just analyzing the industry, he's actively shaping it.
So we've talked about, the problem of poor pricing,
Right.
the power of dynamic pricing,
Yeah.
and the psychology behind value-added packages.
It's fascinating stuff.
What else does Raman have in store for us on this deep dive into hotel pricing?
Well, there's a lot more to unpack.
I would bet. But I think that's a great place to pause for now.
Okay, yeah.
We wouldn't want to overwhelm you with too much information all at once.
Good point. We'll be right back.
We'll be back in a moment to delve even deeper into the world of hotel pricing strategies.
With Arun Kumar, Raman's insights don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned. So before the break, we were talking about that fear, some hotel owners might have about raising prices.
Yeah, I think it's a common concern, right?
Oh, good.
You don't want to scare people away.
Exactly. But Raman, he really emphasizes that guests are willing to pay more for a valuable experience.
Okay, so how do you convince them of that value?
That's the key question, right?
Right.
And one thing that really struck me about Raman's approach is that he doesn't just say charge more.
Okay.
He actually provides specific, actionable strategies.
Okay, I like that.
Like, for example, he talks about the importance of understanding your target market.
So it's not just a one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. You need
Got
to
it.
figure out who you're trying to reach.
What are their needs, their preferences,
Right.
and then tailor your offerings accordingly.
So instead of just copying what everyone else is doing, you're really creating something unique.
Right, exactly. You need to differentiate yourself
Okay.
and figure out what makes your property special
Right.
and then cater to the guests who will appreciate those unique features.
I see. So you're not just competing on price alone. You're creating a distinct value proposition
Yes.
that resonates with a specific type of traveler.
Right. And when it comes to actually implementing dynamic pricing, Raman suggests adjusting prices based on a whole range of factors.
Okay, like what?
Well, we talked about seasonality, of course.
Right, right.
But he also dives into the nuances of things like day-of-week variations,
Oh, interesting.
local events,
Yeah.
even special occasions or festivals.
So it's really about staying on top of what's happening in your area.
Yeah, and being flexible.
Yeah.
You need to be able to adapt to the market conditions.
So it's almost like a hotel's pricing becomes a living, breathing thing,
I like that analogy.
constantly adapting to the
Yeah.
ever-changing dynamic.
It's about being agile and responsive.
And for those who might be feeling a little overwhelmed
Yeah.
by the technical side of dynamic pricing, Raman doesn't just leave them hanging.
No, he's got their back.
He offers support and guidance through his courses and his community.
It's like having a personal pricing guru in your corner.
I love that he's not just pointing out the problems, he's providing solutions
Exactly. He wants to see people succeed.
and a roadmap for success.
Right. A clear path forward.
It sounds like this community aspect is a big part of his approach.
Yeah, it's about bringing people together,
Okay.
creating a space for hotel owners to learn from each other
Okay.
and share best practices.
So it's like a collective brain trust for the hospitality industry.
I like that, a collective brain trust.
And that's where you really see his passion for this industry shine through.
Yeah, he genuinely wants to see Indian hotel owners thrive.
And he believes that pricing is a key lever for achieving that success.
It's a crucial piece of the puzzle.
It's not just about making a quick buck.
Right. It's about long-term sustainability
It's about creating a sustainable business model.
that benefits both the hotel and its guests.
Speaking of guests, Raman is constantly emphasizing the importance of providing amazing experiences.
Yeah, that's his mantra.
And he argues that this is the foundation of a successful pricing strategy.
Because if guests feel like they're getting their money's worth,
Right.
they'll be happy to pay a fair price.
Exactly.
And those exceptional experiences don't have to be extravagant or over the top.
Oh,
It's often the small, thoughtful details that make the biggest impact.
like that boutique hotel I mentioned.
Oh, yeah, with the fireplaces.
Yeah, and the complimentary wine and cheese.
Yeah, those little touches made you feel special.
Yes, they made me feel welcomed and valued as a guest.
And those are the kinds of memories that guests take with them and share with others.
Right, it's about creating those wow moments that go beyond the basic transactional experience.
It's about turning a stay into a story.
I like that story.
And stories are powerful.
Okay.
They have the ability to influence perceptions and create lasting impressions.
So in a way, Ribbon is encouraging hotel owners to become storytellers.
Yes, to craft experiences that guests will want to rave about.
And those positive reviews and word-of-mouth recommendations are invaluable,
Absolutely. They build trust and credibility.
which ultimately allows hotels to justify those higher price points.
It all comes full circle. Amazing experiences lead to positive reviews, which lead to increased demand, which allows for strategic pricing.
It's a virtuous cycle.
Exact.
But let's be realistic, not every hotel can be a luxury resort with all the bells and whistles.
Right, and that's okay.
Okay.
Raman emphasizes that it's not about being the most expensive or the most luxurious.
So what is it about?
It's about finding your niche and catering to the needs and desires of your target market.
Okay, I see.
He actually provides a framework for identifying your ideal guest
Okay.
and understanding their motivations and preferences.
So you're essentially creating a personalized experience that resonates deeply with a specific group of people.
Yes, personalization is key.
And that personalization is what sets you apart from the competition,
Right. It's about creating a sense of connection and belonging.
which is something travelers crave, especially in today's world.
Absolutely. People want to feel like they're part of something.
It's about making guests feel like they're more than just a room number.
Right. They're part of a community, a shared experience.
And those shared experiences are what create lasting memories and build brand loyalty.
Exactly. It's about fostering those connections.
So Raman is advocating for a shift in mindset.
A shift in
It's
perspective.
not just about selling rooms.
It's about building relationships.
I like that.
And those relationships are the foundation of a successful and sustainable business,
It's about creating win-win situations.
where both the hotel and the guest feel valued and appreciated.
I'm really starting to see the bigger picture here. It's not just about pricing.
It's about the whole pack.
It's about creating a holistic experience that encompasses everything from the initial booking process to the final checkout.
Every touch point along the guest journey.
And Raman is providing hotel owners with the tools and guidance to create those exceptional journeys.
He's empowering them to become masters of their craft.
So with all this in mind, what are some of the key takeaways that Raman leaves us with?
It's amazing, how he connects all these different aspects of the hotel business, right? It's not just about pricing.
Yeah, it's really holistic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about understanding your market, your guests, and really crafting an experience that truly stands out.
And what I like is that he's saying that pricing should be a reflection of the value you provide.
Right, not just some random number.
Exactly.
You just pull out of thin air.
And he doesn't just talk about it, theoretically. I mean, he backs it up with real-world examples, practical advice.
Yeah, stuff that people can actually use.
Exactly, that hotel owners can implement.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest takeaways for me is how much he emphasizes that mindset shift from, how much can we charge to how much value can we offer?
Yeah, that's huge.
And that's so powerful. And it goes beyond just adding a few perks or amenities.
Right, it's really a deeper change.
Yeah, it's about creating a culture of excellence that kind of permeates every aspect of the guest experience.
And he even talks about the importance of training your staff
Oh, yeah.
to be genuinely hospitable and attentive to guest needs.
That's so important.
It's not just going through the motions, right?
Right.
It's about creating those authentic human connections.
That make people feel good.
Yeah, that leave a lasting impression.
And those connections,
Yeah.
Those moments of genuine care and attention,
Yeah.
that's what makes a hotel stay memorable.
It's what elevates it from just a transaction to an experience.
That's right.
And, memorable experiences lead to positive reviews.
Word of mouth recommendations.
Exactly, and repeat business.
That's important.
It's that ripple effect that can really make or break a hotel's success.
And Raman gives you the roadmap for creating those ripples.
He lays it all out.
Yeah, he talks about building a strong online presence,
Right.
leveraging social media.
Engaging with your guests.
Yeah, before, during, and after their stay.
It's about being proactive and intentional in every interaction.
And using technology,
Yeah.
to enhance the guest experience.
Right, not to replace human touch,
Exactly.
but to supplement it.
To find that right balance.
Right, using technology to empower those meaningful interactions.
I think that's a message for any business, really.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just about, the product or service. It's about the whole experience
The whole package.
that you create.
Yeah, making your customers feel seen, heard, and valued.
And it starts with understanding their needs and preferences
Absolutely.
and then crafting an experience.
That exceeds their expectations.
And that's where pricing comes in.
Right.
It's about communicating the value
And justifying the price tag
of that experience,
in a way that resonates with your audience.
being transparent, and making sure that your pricing aligns with the quality.
And the level of service you provide.
Ultimately, pricing is a reflection of your brand's identity
It's a statement.
and the promise that you make to your customers.
Yeah, if you deliver on that promise,
If you create an experience that truly delights people
price becomes less of a barrier.
and more of an indicator of value,
It's about building trust and loyalty.
and that's something you can't buy.
Yeah,
You have to earn it
absolutely.
through consistent effort
Genuine care.
and a commitment to exceeding expectations.
That's the key.
So for all of you listening out there, whether you're a seasoned hotelier or you just appreciate a great hotel stay,
We've all been there.
I think the key takeaway here is don't underestimate the power of pricing.
It's not just a number.
It's strategic
It can shape your brand's perception.
and drive your business's success.
It's something that requires careful consideration, ongoing analysis
And a willingness to adapt.
to the market.
But most importantly, it's about aligning your pricing with the value you provide
Right.
and creating an experience that justifies the cost.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So on that note, I'd like to leave our listeners with a final thought-provoking question.
Ooh, I love it.
If you were a hotel owner,
Mm,
what unique value adds would you offer
okay.
to justify a higher price point?
What would make your hotel stand out from the crowd?
What would create that unforgettable experience that people are willing to pay a premium for?
Yeah. What would make you want to stay there?
Think about what really matters to you as a traveler.
What would make you feel like you got more than just a room for the night?
And those are the kinds of questions that Raman encourages hotel owners to ask themselves,
They're good questions.
because the answers are going to lead you to the heart of your brand's identity
Right.
and the essence of your pricing strategy.
It all comes together.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive
Into the world of hotel pricing strategies.
with Arun Kumar Raman.
Great episode.
But the conversation doesn't have to end here.
No, keep thinking about it.
We encourage you to keep exploring these ideas, share your thoughts,
Yeah, tell us what you think.
and maybe even put some of these strategies into practice in your own business.
Or in your personal life.
Because remember, knowledge is power, but only when it's applied.
That's the truth.
So go out there and make it different.
Make it happen.
Until next time, happy travels and smart pricing, everyone.
See you later.